Welcome into FedEx Forum at the Grizzlies draft party night. Clayton Collier here. Pleasure to be joined by David Cobb of the Commercial Appeal. And David, fans filing out right now. The two picks are in from the first round for the Grizzlies. One we expected for over a month, another one making some news. What do you think overall about how the Grizzlies drafted here in the first round?
Well, it's surreal to turn around and look behind us and see Ja Morant's face on the marketing materials for Memphis Grizzlies season ticket sales. After all the talk, all the chatter, the Grizzlies did what a lot of people expected them to do, and I think what their fans wanted them to do, and they took Ja Morant, and I think that was the right call. He's clearly, I think most people think, the second most talented player in this draft class, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see him playing here at FedEx Forum.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk, and you've been doing a lot of talking about Ja Morant over the last month, so let's get over to some of the more pressing news of the night. Is Brandon Clark, the Grizzlies traded Mike Conley, that is, for the 23rd pick, among others. Traded a future second round and got Brandon Clark from Gonzaga, another Mark Few product coming in.
Yeah, it's interesting. The fact that they were willing to trade a future second round pick to move up 2 spots shows me that this Grizzlies front office really, really likes Brandon Clark. What do we know about him? Well, he's a defense-first kind of guy. He's 6'8". He doesn't have a tremendous wingspan. He's not an excellent three-point shooter, but he's kind of an energizer type of guy who's going to bring a lot of passion to the floor and really play defense. And so that's clearly something that they wanted with this pick. The fact that they were willing to shed a future second rounder shows that they really liked Clark, and they were able to snag him at 21.
And then, of course, with the Grizzlies, now they have Jaren Jackson Jr., they have Ja Morant, Brandon Clark, among many others, Grayson Allen in there as well, Dylan Brooks. What is the identity of this team with the guys in place right now?
You know, it was funny because in Morant's first remarks that I saw after he was selected to the actual Memphis Grizzlies social media, he said, at the end of it, he goes, grit and grind. But that's not it anymore. That's not who these Grizzlies are going to be. I think they're going to be an up-tempo team. I think they're going to be a team that's looking to add perimeter shooters. I think you're going to see this Memphis Grizzlies team kind of evolve into what a modern NBA team is, which is up and down the floor with a higher volume of three-pointers than we have ever seen from a Memphis Grizzlies basketball team.
So a very green team coming in next year and a very green coach. How do you think that Taylor Jenkins can handle all of this?
Yeah, that's what I've been saying, is that now that Conley is out the door, now that Gasol is in Toronto, the leadership is going to have to come from the coaching staff. And this is a 34-year-old first-time head coach, the second youngest head coach in the NBA, and he's going to have to be the culture setter because Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. will eventually be those guys who are setting the culture and dictating to the rest of the locker room how things go. But out of the gates, it's got to be Taylor Jenkins and the staff members that he assembled who are doing that, and I think that's a tremendous test, especially for a first-time head coach.
And then finally, the fans already have answered this a little bit, but do you think that there's a chance that maybe the Grizzlies pull something off, get maybe a second-round pick in here before the end of the night?
Well, you know, I don't think the fans at FedEx Forum think so because we're here at the end of the first round and most of them have gone home. But there's always a chance, but I just don't know that I see them giving up a quantifiable asset to get into the second round of this draft. I think they did pretty well tonight, and they're going to have to make some decisions already. So if you add another player to that mix, you'll have even more decisions to make about some players that ultimately won't be on this roster next season.
Ja Morant, the pick at number 2. Brandon Clark coming in at 21. Not until July 6th, of course, when the trade becomes official. But nonetheless, Grizzlies get their haul here on draft night. David, thank you so much for joining us.